Achieving perfect dough is no longer a guess when you understand the science of the 7 flours. You will know exactly which of the 7 flours builds chewy gluten and which guarantees a tender crumb, starting with cake flour. The biggest difference between chewy bread and a delicate melt-in-your-mouth pastry is often just a shift in protein content. Across the baking world, flour protein ranges from a fragile low of to an intensely strong high of 18%. Cake flour is designed to be exceptionally tender. It sits at the very bottom of that scale, usually packing only 7 to 9% protein. It is milled exclusively from a category called soft wheat. Knowing if a kernel is hard or soft instantly tells you what the flour wants to do. Inside every wheat kernel are 2 specific proteins, gliadin and glutenin. Think of them as a team building a physical structure. Gliadin controls how the dough flows and stretches, acting like a standard rubber band that pulls easily. Glutenin provides the elasticity, acting like a heavy-duty bungee cord that snaps back tight. By themselves in a dry bag, they do nothing. But the moment you add water and physically work the dough, they link up. They form a stretchy web called gluten. It works exactly like microscopic Lego bricks locking together only when they get wet and you shake them up. With cake flour, you want to avoid those strong Lego connections. You want a super fine crumb structure. The reason professional cake recipes often demand bleached flour has nothing to do with making the cake look white. Bleaching agents like chlorine or benzoyl peroxide chemically alter the starch inside the flour. This chemical change allows the starch to carry massively heavy loads of sugar and fat without collapsing the delicate cake. When you want towering, chewy, yeast-risen loaves, you switch to the strongest commercial bag on the shelf. Bread flour boasts a much higher protein content, usually between 14 and 14%. It is milled entirely from hard wheat. You need this massive web of heavy-duty bungee cords to trap the gas bubbles created by fermenting yeast. If the gluten network is too weak, the gas escapes and your beautiful loaf collapses into a dense brick. The physical act of kneading is what organizes this chaotic web into a strong, organized structure. As the Institute of Food Science and Technology puts it, high-end industrial bakers do not leave this elasticity to chance. Before they ever mix a commercial batch, they test the flour using a standardized machine called an alveograph. This machine literally inflates a thin sheet of dough like a balloon until it pops. It measures a precise ratio, how far the dough can stretch before tearing, called extensibility, versus how hard it resists that stretch. Getting that exact ratio right is the secret code professionals use to guarantee a perfect French baguette every single time. The most common bag in your pantry is a deliberate compromise. All-purpose flour is a blended mix of both hard and soft wheat, sitting right in the middle with a protein content ranging from 10 to 12%. It is a reliable jack-of-all-trades. But because it sits in the middle, you often have to use specific techniques to force it to behave the way you want. If you want flaky biscuit layers instead of a chewy bread texture, you add fats like butter or oil. The fat physically surrounds the protein strands. It coats them so they cannot link up. It is exactly like throwing thick grease on to stop the 2 sides from sticking together. You cannot always trust the name printed on the bag. One type of flour beloved by artisan bakers contains a flaw that can instantly turn your dough into a sticky, gooey mess, and we'll show you how to fix it. First, you have to look at the nutrition label, not the marketing. Greg from the baking community, The Fresh Loaf, explains it perfectly. You might be paying a premium for a specialty bag when the cheaper all-purpose flour on the next shelf is chemically identical. To guarantee tenderness without the harsh chemical bleaching of cake flour, bakers turn to pastry flour. It hovers right around 9 to 9% protein. It is slightly stronger than cake flour, but maintains the soft wheat's tenderness. This makes it the absolute best choice for flaky, non-chewy pie crusts and delicate tarts. Professional bakers who use unbleached flours often rely on another invisible variable to build strength: time. Simply letting flour age, whether naturally in a warehouse or by using safe chemical aids, subtly oxidizes the proteins. It is a reaction with oxygen that chemically strengthens the final dough structure. Aged flour gives bakers a reliable way to make their doughs stronger and more resilient without having to add a single gram of extra protein. Subscribe, please. Subscribe, please. Having high protein does not automatically equal strong dough. Whole wheat flour has a massive protein content, hitting 13 to 100. Yet, 100% whole wheat bread is famously dense and rarely rises high. The weakness comes from the milling process. Whole wheat includes the entire kernel, meaning it retains the hard outer protective bran and the inner embryo called the germ. As you knead the dough, these sharp bran particles physically slice right through the delicate gluten strands you are trying to build. It is like trying to weave a fine, stretchy fabric while dumping tiny, sharp pieces of shattered glass into the loom. This is also where the artisan milling method changes the chemistry of your dough. Modern precise steel rollers shear the grain cleanly. Traditional stone milling grinds the grain roughly. This rough grinding creates broken, damaged starch. A damaged starch granule acts like a shattered sponge, absorbing water incredibly fast. This is why high-end artisan stone-milled flours require significantly more water than mass-market flours. If you do not add enough extra water to balance that shattered sponge, you end up with a dense, wet, sticky crumb inside your finished bread. You can literally tell if your flour was ground with ancient stone wheels or modern steel rollers just by watching how fast it drinks up water in the bowl. When you knead dough that can take an absolute beating, you use semolina. This is a coarse flour ground from durum wheat, which is the hardest species of wheat on the planet. Semolina possesses incredibly high-quality gluten. Unlike regular bread dough, which can turn into a gummy puddle if you mix it for too long in a machine, semolina resists breaking down. This unique structural durability makes it the undisputed king of pasta. You can knead flowing pasta dough, press it, and run it through mechanical sheeters endlessly. The tough durum gluten snaps back every time, giving noodles their signature bite. We know protein creates structure, but one common grain breaks all the rules and stays dense no matter how much protein it has. The culprit is a strange, sticky fiber. Rye is a close relative of wheat, but it behaves like an alien species in the mixing bowl. Rye flour contains long, sticky, non-starch polysaccharides called pentasans. These fibers hog all the water in the bowl. They actively block what little gluten is present from ever linking up into a network. This is the exact scientific reason why a traditional 100% rye loaf is always heavy, dark, and incredibly dense. Other alternative flours drop the wheat rules entirely. A bag of chickpea flour holds a massive amount of protein, clocking in at nearly 1/5 of its total weight at that. But it lacks the specific gliadin and glutenin structures completely. Without those two proteins, no elastic web can form, no matter how hard you knead it. Choose your flour wisely, and you'll transform your baking from guesswork into the informed science of perfect dough. If you want to understand more about the chemistry of baking structure, click here to watch our video on the mild reaction and how heat unlocks flavor complexity. If you like this, why cheap beef can taste premium according to science, that's the next one.